Hey guys, want to do a quick video today, kind of maybe a product review, I guess you could say. It's starting to cool off in my area, so things are slowing down on the lawn and landscape stuff, and nice day today. I figured I'd go ahead and back out everything, clean everything up, and just kind of go over some thoughts and impressions, kind of like my year in review on some things. So while I was giving all that some thought, I figured, you know what, I've got a mower. I might just do a review on it. I've had it long enough now. I think that's, you know, I can express my thoughts and opinions, and it'd be worth something. You know, some of these guys get stuff and you know, get it right home from the shop, whether it's a motorcycle, a mower, a car, a truck, and oh man, this is my first day review on it. Well, man, you haven't had that thing long enough, to even really matter. But anyway, back to this guy. It's a little 36 Toro GrandStand. I bought it, I guess, about a year ago. And I don't know what we've got on it, probably about 186 hours or something like that. Yeah, 185.5, 186 hours on the unit. It has been absolutely flawless. Not one hiccup with this guy. Not that you would expect it. But we all know how that goes, whether it's, bikes, cars, trucks, whatever. You spend a lot of money on something, and, sometimes you get issues and they've got to go back to the dealer, whether it's for recalls, warranty work, just service issues, just anything and everything. But this unit has been flawless. Little history. I've had a right stander 36, the same size as this guy. That was my first stander, and that was a few years ago. Business was kind of growing, and I wanted to see about taking it a little different direction, maybe getting into some more commercial properties, a little larger properties. And well, that didn't exactly pan out, but I had a Toro GrandStand of 48 that I had, and I had been looking at other mowers. I mean, I wasn't just, oh, I've got to have a this or a that. When we're out there shopping, we look at everything. And unfortunately for me in my area, one of the big factors in making a buying decision was, what dealer support is there going to be? If I ever had any trouble, I've got no problem doing just the regular routine maintenance on these things. But if we had something, catastrophic, or recall, or anything like that come up, how long is it going to take me to get this thing to a dealership to get it fixed? So anyway, in my area, there's about four dealers around. We've got Toro, we've got Wright, we've got John Deere, and I think Gravely's one of them. They may not be around anymore and been replaced by somebody else. I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, all four of those are about, no more than 30 minutes from where I live. So getting the mower to there, if we ever had to, was a big consideration for what brand I was going to go. I mean, I was looking at a Skag mower, and but the nearest dealer was about 2 hours away. So that really was kind of a deal breaker for me. Not that there's not great products out there by tons of manufacturers. There's more than I can count or care to. But just if I ever had an issue, I'd want there to be dealer support. So that was one of the determining factors for me going with this brand. Anyway, I've had a Wright. The business was growing. Like I said, it was a Wright 36. I ended up getting into a Toro GrandStand 48, which was a fantastic unit as well. A little big for what I was doing, but I was thinking about taking the business to another larger properties. But anyway, something, life changes, all this and that, and I ended up getting out of the business. Just recently got back in it within the last probably a little over a year ago, and that's when I picked up this guy. And man, like I said, there has been not one single solitary issue with it. The machine comes with a 15 horsepower Kawasaki. That's the only engine option, or was at the time when I got this. I think my 48, when I had it, you could get a Kohler or a Kawasaki, and I'm not exactly sure on the horsepower, but this unit just came with the Kawasaki 15 horsepower, and it has performed, as expected, I guess. I mean, we all kind of have our fingers crossed on it. I mean, I don't have any, battery issues, no starter issues, no hydraulic issues. The steering system works fine. Yeah, there's no leaks. The engine doesn't smoke on startup or cold start or anything like that. It just goes. And we want them to, I mean, when you drop down the kind of money that these things cost, You know, you want to you not want to have that lingering in the back of your head that, oh, I spent XYZ on it and now it's going to be in the dealer for repairs, you know. But this thing's been hassle and trouble free. I'm trying to think of some things, some pros and some cons of it. I guess one of the only, maybe two things about it, and I'm not sure that it's really a huge deal, because of the stance of the mower. I mean, you got that big platform on the back. Your rear tires would be your pivot point, and you're way out here on the front end, which is a little skinny and not too heavy. So yeah, I mean, sometimes those front wheels do get a little light. You run into a tree stump or you're popping over a little bit of a curb or something like that. You just got to be mindful of that. Yeah, so the front end can get a little light. Hillside Stability is I would say on par with the right. I can only say that because that's the only other stand mower I've ever been on. I've been on plenty of them, had plenty of walk behinds, ridden other people's sit-down mowers, but I just prefer the stand-on units. That's just a personal preference, really. I guess really, and going back to the overall stance and the length of it, this platform in the back, you know, if you're not watching yourself and you get too close to fences when you're turning around or any kind of obstacles like that, that little platform can swing around and you know, kiss things that might not necessarily want to be kissed, if you feel me on that. So yeah, just be mindful of that. One big advantage, and this will go back to the right, why I got away from that brand, which was a fantastic unit, probably a little bit more compact than this, but a couple things I didn't like about the right. One of the things that always kind of bugged me, and I don't know if it ever really made any significant difference, but when I saw the Toro and it's got its gas tank, you know, just the weight of however much fuel, I mean, if it holds, I'm guessing maybe 5 gallons, I'm not exactly sure, at, you know, 8 to 10, pounds per gallon, you're looking at 40 or 50 extra pounds right there. So you kind of want that mass, centrally located on the unit if you could. And I see units all the time that have got them, stacked on one side, and there's nothing to kind of counterbalance that on the other. Whether it makes a difference or not, it was just something that I really never, I'm like, well, when I saw that Toro had done this, I was like, well, that seems like a better way to do it. Whether it has any effect on anything, I have absolutely no idea, or not. The second thing that I really didn't like, actually the main thing I didn't like about the right was, and it's a benefit, like I said, you've got this big platform on the back that if you're not watching things, it can swing into things. But there's a benefit to that, and I'm going to get to that in 1 second. On the right, in other mowers, you stand between the wheels. So, you're a little lower down into the machine. And for me, one thing that always stood out about the right was my feet at the end of the day would be just overly hot. I mean, I don't know what it was, whether there was too much heat from the pumps, just getting into the platform itself, or what it was. But my feet used to just be cooking by the end of the day. I'd have no issue with that, with my feet being way out here away from everything, up a little higher. Also on this unit, I mean, it is nice and springy, and it just gives you a super cushiony ride. I'm not nearly as fatigued on this unit as I was on the right, which, little things like that just go a long way. This unit's got these little angled, you wouldn't even think that would even matter, but it's got like a little beveled part right here. And while you're on a hill, if you're going whatever way, you can actually put your foot right there, and it almost will counteract the hill. As far as, so your footing will always be basically flat, at least on one foot, on the down foot on that side of the hill. So, I mean, little things like that. Hey guys, sorry about that. Had a quick technical difficulty, but what I was getting to is you wouldn't even think that some of this stuff would be important as far as your footing on the deck or anything, and that little bit of a foot placement on those hills just makes a world of difference at the end of the day. For me at least, and the less fatigued and beat up we are at the end of the day, just keeps us going for the next day. Hey guys, real quick, I kind of got sidetracked and forgot to mention a couple things. I apologize. Real quick, a couple of things I like about this Toro. Controls are super simple. Most of these mowers have basically the similar controls. These aren't any better or worse than any of the other ones. These are just, straightforward like all the other ones. This one just has one kill switch in the right stick over here. There's no kill switch in the in the deck down here where you stand on or anything. So I really like that. I'm all for safety just like everybody else. If we're out there getting hurt, then we can't get the job done. But also creatures of habit and path of least resistance. So sometimes we're just going along. I can step off this machine, keep the blades engaged for 1 second, stand down, pick up a piece of trash, and then keep rocking. I don't want to have to make any extra steps if I don't have to. Another thing I really like about this 36 that I wouldn't be able to do with a larger unit is seeing how I'm by myself, all the maintenance I do by myself. So one of those is predominantly blade changes. We're doing those constantly on these things, but that more than anything else. So what I do, I just back this machine up, back it out of the trailer, put the back wheels right there on the edge of the ramp, pull my little handbrake, and to lift this thing, like I said, it takes up a little bit more room being wide, but there's a little thing down here, the little knob, you just pull that little pin out, lift it up, just that simple. Once you've got that up, take your little piece of plastic wrap or something like that. What I've got is just a Ziploc bag. Open the cap, put that down in there, tighten that up just a little bit to keep any oil from seeping out of there, and lift right between, they got a couple handles here right between the two front wheels, give it a heave, up she goes. I've got electric impact over there on the wall. Do my blade changes in just a few minutes, if that. Pull the pin and let the thing back down, and you're ready to go. Little 36 gets around all these little residential properties. I don't have any big acreage or really anything substantial. Just these little tiny residential lawns. What the 36 really allows me to do is vary my direction and often. I mean, I can cut this lawn a bunch of different ways, and so I'm not leaving all these gigantic ruts or anything like that. And nobody wants to come out and see all these ruts. I see plenty of these operators out there just going using the same line every time. And sometimes that's unavoidable, but when you've got a landscape like this, and you can vary your direction, why not? So, but anyway, that's just one thing that the smaller mowers allow you to do versus those bigger machines. A lot of times on those bigger machines, hey man, you can only get a few passes this way, and that's just how it's going to be. But this little guy kind of fills in that void. I can do multiple directions, a lot of different directions with this, more so than the bigger units. Also, this little guy gets in, the gates and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely got my seal of approval on it. I couldn't be happier with it. If you guys have any questions or comment, leave them below. Just takes a second to like and subscribe to the video. If you guys want to see anything more like this, I've got I'm gonna start doing more stuff like this. I've got, like I said, a little trailer here, and it's got, all my steel equipment, and I definitely got some things to say about some of those units. That's for dang sure. So anyways, if you like, just hit the button down there, and yeah, any comments, just leave them below. I'll see if I can answer them for you. Thanks. Have a good one.